Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Rachel. Welcome to my channel if you're new. Welcome back if you're returning. I am a part-time reseller on sites like eBay, Poshmark, and Mercari, and I use my YouTube channel to share with you what I do in my reseller life in hopes that it helps you with yours. I do unboxing videos every time I order from liquidation companies or like online thrift stores, and I come back 90 days later and show you guys what exactly sold out of the boxes and whether I made a profit and whether or not I think it was actually a good investment for my business. So if you like content like this, certainly consider subscribing to my channel. I post new videos all the time. Would love to have you in a future video, and drop me a like at any time if you find this helpful. It lets me know that you like my content, and it lets me know what to make more of. So today I have an update to a Boutique by the Box one-off box that I purchased earlier this year. So Boutique by the Box, if you're not familiar, they're a liquidation company, but they hand sort their merchandise. So you end up paying a little bit more for it, but you know that everything you get is going to be listable and sellable and not have a bunch of flaws, etc. Well, now they list these right on their website, but before they used to list like one-off boxes of like items that they just think are damaged too much to be able to sell in one of their curated boxes. So I grabbed this box from them off of their Instagram stories, and it was Daydreamer USA flawed t-shirts. I knew the items were going to have flaws, and I was willing to deal with that. Even the ones I got before with flaws, you know, they actually made me some good money. So I'll post the original unboxing video here if you guys want to watch it. But let me tell you, this is why I do 90-day updates. This box was such a roller coaster for me. First of all, I was initially excited because there were some duplicates, and I like duplicates because I can do a multi-quantity listing. The stuff in the boxes, even though they didn't have like size tags or brand tags, which was what was disclosed in the original listing, they were very heavily flawed, which the listing did say heavily flawed, but I guess I didn't really notice it until I was going to list the stuff. So multi-quantity listings didn't matter because each item was flawed in a different way, even though it was the same item. So I couldn't really justify a multi-quantity listing. I felt I had to take a picture of each individual item and show the individual flaws to avoid, you know, misleading my customers or having cases opened against me. So what I ended up having to do, since it was a lot of the same thing, I used these little dots and I wrote a number on each dot. I put it on the inside of the collar, and I put in the listing the corresponding number so that, for example, those Rolling Stone t-shirts, I had like 15 of them. When somebody bought one, they all looked similar. I knew I had to pull out the right numbers so that I was sending the one with the flaws that were described in the listing. And I also wrote a disclaimer out that I put on all the listings, specifying the level of flaws that each item had, in hopes that it would save me from getting cases or you know, bad reviews. So quite a roller coaster, a lot more work than I ended up expecting, I guess, and definitely not worth $7.62 a piece. As I initially was unboxing, I was really excited about my cost of goods, where it wasn't so much after I got into it. But I do want to show you what sold. I ended up listing 63 items total. I only have about 8 items left. So the good news is the majority of this stuff did sell within 90 days. And I will show you the highlights. I'm not going to show you every single item just because there were so many duplicates, but I will kind of go over the highlights and some of my favorite sales, some of the highest sales. And then at the end, I will just kind of sum it up and say, you know, whether or not I think it was worth picking up based on how much money I actually made selling this stuff. I'm kind of going to go in lowest profit to highest profit on these. And then at the end, I'll show you the ones that I still have left. So starting off, I have the Rolling Stones shirts. Now there were, I think, like 15 of these or so. And this is what the listings looked like. I didn't expect a ton out of these. These were really heavily flawed. So I didn't notice it at first, but the graphic that was pressed onto the shirt, they were like overpressed. And so there was like burn marks in the shirt. And again, each one of them was in various degrees of flawed. So I priced them kind of according to how bad they looked. I sold them for anywhere from like $10 to $20, just depending on, you know, if somebody sent me an offer, I was accepting it most of the time, or all of that. They were all a size large, so all the same size. And I only have one left. And so that's pretty good. But this particular one sold for $20 on Poshmark. I think this one might have been one of the highest sellers of that bunch. I had these Whitney Houston shirts. There were a couple Whitney Houston shirts. None of these had sizes, but they were a bigger size. I think I listed them as like 2X and 3X, just depending on measurements. This one was sold on Poshmark. I got $20 for this. A lot of these I just accepted offers on. I listed them high and I dropped the price, accepted offers, because I just didn't know what I was going to get based on the flaws. I had this Def Leppard shirt, which actually sold in a bundle. This one was really fun. And these were super fun band shirts, by the way. So, I mean, it wasn't like they weren't like on trend. These The Who Tour shirts. I had several of these, but they were all like flawed in their own different ways. They must have got stuck in a press or something. They had like, I don't know if they were ink marks or grease marks. And there was a variety of sizes on these, but actually every last one of these is sold, again, between $10 and $20-ish. That one was kind of surprising. I almost didn't want to list those because of all the marks on them. And then I had a Metallica studded tee. This was the only one that had studding on it, but this one didn't have a size either. So $20 I got for this one on Mercari. Only took about a week to sell. Like I said, these started selling really, really fast, even with the flaws. So no complaints there. The Who sweatshirt, let me tell you, when I opened the box, I thought this one was like the gold mine. This was going to be the one that paid for the whole box. Except what I did not notice was that there was a huge hole in the armpit, and not even like on the seam. It was just like completely ripped in half. And I had no idea at the time, even during the unboxing, I didn't see it. So that was really disappointing, but I listed it with the flaw. It took about a week to sell and I got $23 for it. So it wasn't that, I don't know, $100 I was expecting, but it still sold. It didn't have to go in the garbage. I had several of these Aaliyah t-shirts. They were all a size extra small. These took a minute. For the first like 2 months, I didn't sell a single one of these. And then they started selling off after I delisted and relisted for some reason. This one sold on Poshmark for $20. I do have 1 or 2 of these left. The Def Leppard 1987 tour t-shirt. I spent a great deal of time trying to figure out if it was dark green or really faded black. I don't remember what I went with, but it sold for $25 on Poshmark, so whatever. This Kiss embellished tee. This one had like little rhinestones on it, and this one sold for $25 on Poshmark. The Whitney Houston fan club tee got delisted and relisted, but recently sold, just made it into the 90 days. This one sold on eBay, and actually was one of my only eBay sales. Most of this stuff sold on Poshmark and Mercari. Usually eBay is my front runner platform on like everything, but for these, majority of these sold on either Poshmark or Mercari. This Doors red tee, this one sold really quick within like 2 weeks, $29 on this one. This one sold on Poshmark. This one was not a band tee. This was just said El Tigre. I couldn't figure out what it was referencing or what it meant, but it did sell for $30 on Poshmark. I didn't notice really any flaws on this one except that it didn't have the brand and size tag. I had one Blondie shirt. This one sold for $30 on Poshmark, and this one sold within just a few days. This one was Willie Nelson, and this was a bigger size, a size 2X, and it didn't have really like any ink marks or anything, but this one, the graphic was like straight up sideways. I think that had to be the flaw on this one, so I just disclosed this stuff the best that I could. And hey, it still sold. And I think when you're wearing it, you can't really tell all that much. I mean, this was a pretty severe off center, but even when you're wearing it, like, who cares, right? And these shirts, they retail for like $80, $90, $100. So if you really like the shirt, I mean, sometimes it's worth just taking the slight flaw, the irregularity, right? Then I sold this David Bowie waffle knit t-shirt. I had two of these, and one sold on Facebook, one sold on Poshmark in a bundle. This particular David Bowie shirt, it didn't have the buttons. So like, see how my shirt's like a Henley shirt and it's got the buttons? This was the same exact type style, but it got flawed probably so early in production that it never got buttons on it. So the one on Facebook sold for $25 even without the buttons. I had one Johnny Cash shirt that sold on Mercari for $32. The last Daydreamer box I got had a lot of Johnny Cash in it, and it sold a little higher, but because of the flaws, I'll take $32. I had this Queen, so this was like a waffle knit tee, again, not a band tee. This one, you could see that the flaw was like a split in the graphic, but it sold for $34 on Mercari. That one actually sold within a couple days as well. This was my favorite shirt out of the entire box, and I think I listed this at like $70. Even though it said it was flawed, I didn't see any flaws on it, but it had a ton of interest, and I kept getting lowballs. I got lowballed like $20, $25. I had it listed for $70. So finally someone on Poshmark offered me $43, and I took it. But this was after a month of getting lowballed on it. So it wasn't exactly what I wanted, but I'll still take it. And then the most profitable item in this box was this Prince Revolution World Tour tee, which actually was an eBay sale, and it sold after about a month for $39.99, which was my full asking price. So there were a lot of other onesie twosie kind of sales. I'm not going to go through all of them because, again, it's a lot of the same duplicate ones that I already talked about. And a lot of them I just sold off to kind of make my money back on the box. You know, a lot of them I could have trashed, but the whole point of this was to save these from being put in a landfill, which otherwise is probably where they were headed. I did actually, one other mention, I did list those random pairs of socks that were in the top of the box. I lotted them up. I sold them for $10 on Poshmark. So I think I listed them for $12. Someone liked them. I made a $10 offer with the discounted shipping. So, I mean, I still made a couple dollars on those, even though like I didn't make the $7.62. I don't know. I figure you can really just list anything. So there are a few items that I still have left. One Rolling Stones t-shirt. I have the New York cropped tee. It's had some interest, but I guess because it's not a band tee, I mean, I send offers when I get them, but it's still sitting. I've got one more Whitney Houston shirt, two more Aaliyah shirts, and then the Yes t-shirt, which perhaps is my fault because I couldn't really tell if it was men's or women's. So for a while I had it listed as men's, and I delisted and relisted it just a couple days ago as women's, and I lowered the price a little. So it's gotten a little more interest, but still no sales. But I am hopeful. If you're interested in any of the items I have left, check my Poshmark or my eBay. I'll definitely cut you a deal because at this point it's all past 90 days. The final verdict, 63 items in the box. I sold 55. I have 8 items remaining. My total cost on the box, $482.34. My total profit on the box, $401.85. So I almost doubled my money, minus about $80. I feel good about selling what I sold out of this box. Like I said, this stuff was destined for a landfill. It was trashed, it was irregular, and I am thrilled that I've sold majority of the items in this box. From a business standpoint, from a profit standpoint, a $400 profit is great. But this box was a lot of work. I had to disclose each individual flaw. I had to go through and mark and number each item so I could keep track of which was which. Was it worth what I paid for it? I personally think the cost of goods was too high for the level of flaws in this box. Now, I turned a decent profit, absolutely. Would I pick this up again? Yes, I would. I would definitely take into consideration the cost of goods, though. I mean, if I could get them for a little bit less than this, I would consider it. If it were the same or higher, I probably wouldn't, just because now I know how much work goes into it. And the risk you take when you sell flawed items is, like I said, let's be honest, you run the risk of cases and bad reviews no matter what you do to disclose the flaws. So it was fun. Like I said, I'm glad I got to contribute to keeping items out of landfills, but I wouldn't say this was the most profitable, or I didn't get the biggest return on investment that I would hope for from a mystery box. So let me know what you guys think. Were you surprised by the amount of money I made on this box, or were you surprised to see so many flaws? If you had a chance to check out the first unboxing, definitely let me know what you guys think. If you're still here and you have not already, drop me a like. You made it to the end, and that deserves a like. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you have not already. Like I said, I do a 90-day recap on every single unboxing that I do. So I love showing you guys what actually sold and how much it sold for. And I do it every time I do a mystery box unboxing. But that's it for me today, guys. I hope you guys found this helpful. I will catch you in the next one.